Hello, welcome. Welcome to Secret Club Paranormal Historians, where history meets the paranormal. Tonight I'm kind of solo. Jenny, this week is Jenny's birthday. I want everybody to wish Jenny a happy birthday, first of all. And I'm kind of solo tonight, so I brought my brother on. My brother's going to be. We're going to be talking about some of the old stuff that we've done in the past as my original team, Secret Club of the Paranormal, and we're just going to hang out and talk. We got plenty of evidence. Secret Club of the Paranormal started in 1996, so we've been around a long time, and we've been doing this a long, long, long time. So I just want to tell everybody. You, Jenny, I think she went to the World Cup. She's going to see some soccer or whatever they call football, whatever they call it. Um, so I just want to wish her a happy birthday on the air. Happy birthday, Jenny. This is my para partner. So I just since I have nothing else to talk about, I'm going to bring my brother in. My brother, Gerard Simonelli. Hey, here he is.
Hey
Hey,
everybody, how you doing?
what's up? So Gerard and I were well. We still the team is still around. It's Club of the Paranormal. It's still around, and we do some stuff. Jenny's part of it now too, and Kim and Joe C. Well, Giuseppe. Everybody knows him as Giuseppe these days. And so we've been around. And our partner that passed, Joe McCaffrey, was a big part of our team. And of course, we miss him a lot. So this is my brother, and you want to talk about, I know, we started a long time ago, and I started, and then you came along with me to help me out. And
Yep.
we really did some really great, great locations, even in the past, And we also, we ventured out on our own to do certain things too, but always came back to the Seekers, you know. So tonight, my brother has, plenty of stories, plenty, and he could talk as much as I can. So you know how much I could talk. So, um, Gerard, you
Yes.
know, it's we started a long time ago, and I think it got us started because we had activity in our home growing up,
Oh yeah.
and we had certain activity going on in our house, and um, I've seen it, and he's seen it. Even Brianna, she's in the background. Say hi, Brianna.
Oh, she actually went upstairs.
Oh, she left.
Yeah, she
Um,
left.
my niece, she's been doing it also. She started coming out when she was about 5. My son Jesse, he's also part of the team, but um, he's not coming down. He's not going to be on tonight because it was supposed to be originally 3 of us. Because Gerard and Jesse is really like co-founders of Seekers Club of the Paranormal, and he can't come on tonight because he has to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So that puts a damper on things. So I want to say hello to everybody in the audience. Thank you for coming out tonight and to listen to us two brothers just talking. Hey, we just talk. So, Gerard,
Yes.
I know, you got your start pretty much at the house and seeing stuff and everything like that, and you know, so I know some of your profound stuff that you have seen or you want to talk about. I know there's a couple things you like to talk about. So I know, one of the things that you've done or experienced really is something you want to talk about. Rigo, you want to talk about that
Yeah,
yet? Or
yeah, I put it on. The
okay,
time it was right before 9/11. It was actually 9/11 had already happened. I'm a first responder, and my buddy opened the gym up and medical center. So he wanted me to work in this place so I can get away from work in downtown Manhattan, away from all the bad things happening down there. And
hmm
the process of ripping down walls like 2 o'clock in the morning with a sledgehammer, a very tall figure appeared in the distance in the basement area where I was working on. I was playing Metallica a lot on the radio. I was a lot of Red Bulls. I was very, very hyped. And I go to investigate what this thing was. It's it went into a room in distance from me. As I walked in the room with the sledgehammer in my hand, figured I was being robbed. There was nobody in the room. At that point, I should have realized I should have moved out, not taken a lease for 5 years. Then time went on. I'm working in the hallway of my building, just painting it up before we opened up for business. And the chiropractor upstairs from me, his office is closed because I was in the basement, where there's a rehab center for personal training. We heard movement upstairs, chairs moving. Every time I opened the door up, there was nobody there. I had buddies come over. They did the same thing, work there, and they kept hearing stuff. This is just nonstop noise in the basement, dragging things back over my head. Every time I played my music loud, it got louder, louder, louder. Every day, come to work, things try pushing me downstairs, throwing things at me. So I used to go there as a spoof, bring my brother with me and friends, and go there and just laugh in the basement at this thing, and used to get really mad. And one time, I'm going to jump ahead of the 5 years. Brother comes with me, and we're hearing this again, so he goes to investigate. When he goes upstairs, I turn my radio off, and I hear him walking down the hallway above me, and nothing happens. He stops in the distance, and he walks up the hallway over me again, comes down the stairs. I go, all I heard was you walking, and at that point, things upstairs get out of control. Things being thrown, there's dragging of boxes upstairs. So we decided to investigate. And Anthony, you tell me what happened to you when we went upstairs.
Yeah. Well, one night when I was there, matter of fact, where he just brought up, he heard me walking the hallway up there. One night I was there with him, and that night we were closed. You were closing, weren't you?
Yeah, I was closing the gym.
Yeah, he was closing the gym. So he had me there, and I went there. Sometimes I used to go to the gym with him, or just sometimes hang out, whatever. And we heard the noise upstairs. It sounded like somebody walking, dragging stuff. So I said, I'm going to go up there and check it. So he goes, I'm locking you up now. We'll go up together and whatever. So we go upstairs, and he's about to lock. I said, look, listen, I'm going to go take a walk down the long hallway. Because up on the first floor, there's like a desk where the patients go and check in. Behind the desk is a long hallway. On each side of the hallway, there's doors for different rooms. Okay. So I'm going to take a walk down that hallway because we kept on hearing stuff as we were leaving too. So I walked down the hallway, and all of a sudden, a cold breeze comes shooting at us. That's at me. Because you're right. I think you were still outside at the time before you checked that. The cold breeze came through me. I'm like, whoa. It was like something didn't want us there. It did not want us there. And because I went all the way to the back when that happened. And in one of the rooms on the left, I heard stuff going on in there. But this breeze came through me. I said, okay, we'll go do this another night. So I come out, and Gerard's like, he has to go lock up now. Funny part about it, I think he locked up so fast, he had to go check the whole place, running around, and locked up. Then we walk around the side of the building. And Gerard, go ahead. It's your story.
Okay, so what happened was
Crazy now.
while we're going to lock up, I have to lock. Things I had they were called Medco locks. Okay, Medi locks. So you have to use a key to open the door to get out, and then you have to use the same key to lock the door to lock the place. So as I'm trying to leave, Anthony stepped out the building. This thing charging me at the door. I'm keys to get the hell out of there because the paranormal. I'll be honest with you, it scares the hell out of me. I enjoy doing it, but when I'm by myself, I still freak out here and there. That's me. But I go into danger because I do enjoy that part too. This thing in this building did not like me. So when I finally got outside, I locked the door, and I felt the presence at the front door staring at the building. I have my car parked, and my brother's car was parked in the street. And on the side of the building, there's like a double pane window here, and then there's the two doors. One door goes into the chiropractor's office, and the third floor goes to a dentist, which we don't go up there, so that has nothing to do with this. So my back's against the building, and we're laughing what's going on. And Anthony goes, Gerard, turn around. I'm looking, he goes, turn around, look at the blinds. As I turn slowly, the blinds over my left shoulder were pulled aside as the thing's watching us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I laughing at it, and I walk past it. And as I get near the door starts kicking, and the doorknob's turning violently like it wanted to come out after us.
Yeah.
And we just left. I'm like, great. I got 3 more years on a lease at this point now, and now I have to deal with this every day for 3 years. And 3 years, this thing really tormented me. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
And I refuse to do any investigation. You know, I'm an investigator. I refuse to do anything that might antagonize it more.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still, I wish I would have done something now.
It's funny because when I seen it, the closet, I seen the curtain pulled, and also I see something like this go, like a dark figure, like it's looking out at us, and that's when I told Gerard, turn, look, and he turned, and all of a sudden the door that's connected to that little room that's on the outside, like he said, the handle started shaking, and it was like all of a sudden you heard bang, 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 like they was trying to get out. They were kicking the door, trying to open the door on us.
It was like coming after us.
Yeah. So it was like, I think it's time just to leave because whatever it was didn't want us there at that time and stuff. But yeah, like he said, he had 3-year lease that was left on that.
Left over.
That place. Yeah. I mean, you had other stuff going on there and other people seeing it. It wasn't just us. Yeah. They say, the brothers are making up things. No, there's other people. Tell them about the painters and the and even Jimbo and Mike. Yeah.
I mean, my brother-in-law comes down there. My best friend Jim was down there. My friend Mike, best friend. All my friends, everybody heard. We used to come down there. We used to go to the bar, the Woodhaven House, and just drink a few beers and then go back over there just to use the bathroom there in the basement. And we used to just make fun of him because it got to the point where I didn't care anymore. He's bothering me, and he would torment all of us. Yeah. All of us. It got to the point where I never came to the front door again. I used to go to the back basement cellar door, and I never locked it for 3 years. I used to go the back way.
Yeah.
Then I had a 60s. Yeah, I had a 60 CD changer back then, and then I had no money. So back then, CDs were the biggest thing, and this thing broke my stereo. It physically broke my stereo, and I had no music down there because he hated music and.
Yeah, well, like Metallica and Iron Maiden now you're playing, it's like
I used to blast Metallica. Every time I made the music on, I put the music, it would get louder.
Yeah, it was like those speakers were loud. And, they were kind of
and plus I had the speakers, I used to aim them up to the ceiling on purpose to piss it off.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about the painters that you have painted the staircase.
Yeah, well, it was in December. It was actually my daughter was just 11 months old, and we were heading. We were going to go to Hawaii for she's 11 months. We're going to go to Hawaii, and I had to get the gym finished. So I told my friend Walt and Jessica to come finish painting for me, and I didn't want to mention anything that the staircase going up to the chiropractor's office that you hear things. And when I got back a week later. The job was done. It did a wonderful job painting everything. And I don't see my friends for about a month or two. And I finally see them. I'm like, dude, I go, you guys did a great job. I go, how was it? Oh, it was great, wonderful. I go, did you hear anything strange? Like, what do you mean strange? I'm like any strange noises. What do you mean by strange noises? In the staircase, what did you hear? And then they started talking about the chairs being moved, the doors slamming upstairs. And every time they opened up the office door to get to the chiropractor where they heard this, there was nothing there. And they refused to come back in the building at that point.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. Hey, Gerard, your speakers, I'm hearing a little echo when I talk.
Oh,
Is
no,
your
I hear you echoing.
okay?
How am I okay?
You're fine. I can hear myself echo for
Yeah,
whatever reason.
you have a little echo every so often.
Mm-hmm. Uh, there's nothing's changed on my end, so you might have to deal with it. Let me see. You know, but yeah, it's crazy how that location was really wow.
And it
You know,
wasn't supposed to be. That was the weirdest thing. And
what I
I
mean, what year was that? It was like you were there for a
well,
while.
if my daughter's 24 and she was only 11 months old, so it's 2000. That was right after 9/11. So it was 2001, 2002.
Yeah. Oh
She was born
yeah,
in September and
2002.
November. Yeah, 2002.
Wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Time flies.
Wow.
And I hate saying it, but I do want to get back into the place, and I do not know how to contact these people and be serious because I was telling my brother yesterday, and not being bad, everybody just forgive me for what I'm going to say, but the people who took it over rented it out to a deaf and blind place.
Yeah.
So I can't. How do I tell them if they're going to hear or see any ghosts? Because I don't know if they're going to believe me. That
Yeah.
I don't be bad saying that, but it's just
Yeah.
weird.
It's like but any situation that you go into like and you see stuff. Um, it's weird how you get. I mean, how do you say? Listen, I used to work here, and I seen some weird activities. Do you have? I mean, I know people that will do that. Some
Yeah.
yeah, but in a business, it's a little different. They could call the cops on you, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, yeah. We don't know if there's still activity there. Yeah, we're getting a comment, about if there's still Melissa. It says it was about to ask if there's going to be. You haven't
Yeah,
been
I
back to
see
the
that.
building.
Yeah,
You know.
Melissa, like I was saying, I've been wanting to try and get in there, and I'm trying to get the guts to ask the people.
Yeah,
But there's children in there, and I don't really want them to have any problems or feel if they
yeah,
don't hear or see anything. I don't want to really get them upset.
yeah. That's the whole thing. You got kids involved and everything, so it's a problem. You know. Let me see. I'm trying to see what the. Let me see if I any more echo.
You
It's
sound
slight.
well.
It's still slight, but it's okay. It's gonna have to be because I don't want to go playing with anything right now. They knock you off and then no show. So we've been doing this for a long time. Gerard's been around with me for a while, and you know we did a bunch of things. We did the East Coast Paracon. That's with Jesse, and that's pretty much the first Paracon we at the Seekers Club of the Paranormal have done. But that was back. I don't know. That was back a long time ago. You know,
Yeah,
that's the three of us. That's me and Jesse's in the middle, and Gerard. Jesse's kind of young there. He really is. He started when he was 13 with us. You
yeah.
know. So I mean, I'll show a couple pictures. I want to show some evidence and stuff. We got some videos. We got a lot of stuff, audio, and hopefully everybody enjoys everything we experience. So I mean, um, there's still an echo. The we did the Tilly Pierce house. The Tilly Pierce, it's B&B and breakfast. Still there. It's in Gettysburg, right in Gettysburg. And um, the Tilly Pierce, it was a nice. It's a great place. I mean, we went there in 2009. Okay, and we went one time. We went for your birthday, and then in April, then my birthday in August. So we went twice in one. We used to go up to 2013. We
Well,
went twice.
I did Taylor Pierce's once. You went a couple of times. I only went there once to Taylor Pierce.
Tilly Pierce, you only did once?
Yeah, we went down.
A
Remember, it
couple
was like
times.
it was a vacation when I was almost like Memorial Day. We went to Tilly Pierce. We
Was
went to Farnsworth on my birthday.
hmm
The Tilly
Yeah.
Pierce. I think we remember we went to Chile in October. We went to Chile Theater, and I met this one girl who she was at the thing, and she mentioned one of her friends had it was the manager of the Tilly Pierce house at the time. Remember?
hmm
And when I met her, I went down to Gettysburg with my friend Mike, my friend Jim, his kids, and my daughter, and Kimberly. And we met the owner from Tilly Pierce, and we just did a walkthrough. And then we set things up. And then me and Anthony, we booked it with his son, his son Jesse, and our
hmm
friend Mike.
hmm
I think it was either Memorial Day weekend. I think Memorial Day
I
weekend.
think it was something like that. Yeah, it was like one of those weekends. But yeah, I
And
mean, there was
I
also
know,
a horror fest going on too. Remember, we
yeah,
went into a horror fest, something, a horror fest they had going on somewhere in one of the locations, and we went there
but I
first.
remember, but I
We
remember
were
what made it
there
very
like 3 days.
But what made it very strange that place was when we went there, it seemed like nobody booked the place. We had the
Yeah.
entire building to ourselves except for some girl that we didn't know. She was just investigating on her own. So myself, my brother, and my nephew, we shared one big room. My friend Mike had a little private room, and this other girl had a room down the hallway near a staircase. But what the strangest thing of this building was, every time you stepped out of your room, the ghost or whatever it was, well, I'll call him Hank, and we'll mention him later who he is. He will lock the doors on us and lock us out of the rooms. So we had to physically run and or put shoes in the doors because we got locked out every time we stepped out of the room.
hmm
And
Yeah.
then the rest of the night, we were there so many days and we had so much activity. It wasn't good activity. It was bad stuff happening.
Yeah. I mean, how about with when Hank first appeared? But the story, if you want to tell the story about the little girl, and then I'll show the actual pictures.
Well, I remember we're doing dowsing rods, and I was asking anybody in an area, and it takes me down a hallway. And somehow it took me to a hallway, and I didn't show Anthony the thing, and it brings me to like an armoire, and it's like
Mhm.
it kept pointing at the armoire as the girls were there, and I didn't say anything to my brother, and then my friend Mike the same thing to the armoire. But what made it really strange was later that night when we were just sleeping, we have cameras on the room the whole time, running, and I go to something wakes me up. This thing's waking me up all night. I go to figure out, go up, go to the bathroom, whatever. And as I come walking to the bathroom, I see the light on in the bathroom, and my brother's on the floor drawing pictures, and he drew these two girls.
Oh,
His
God.
picture,
Yeah.
you have two girls. I think he took two pictures
No,
running down the hallway.
of a girl, of a girl. Yeah, the
Little
little
girl,
girl.
and she was running towards that room. It seems, and that we figured out the girls are hiding supposedly behind an armoire, and some
Mhm.
tall guy. And this guy, we named him Hank, or I'll explain
Yeah.
it later.
Well, I got the image, Hank. I got the name Hank.
Came
Yeah.
up, but the weirdest thing is, I walked in the room and I'm like, Anthony, I gotta go to the bathroom, and he's on the floor drawing pictures. I never saw him draw pictures so fast in my life, and he's
hmm
doing these pictures, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He go, I have images. I see this, and he's drawing and throwing the pictures aside. He's draw, throw. It was like nonstop. My nephew comes in the bed. Now you have three of us in the bathroom, and he goes, "What's wrong?" I go, "I think your dad's possessed." He's just drawing pictures like crazy. I don't know. But long story short, that Hank pissed me off, and um, I told the story, Anthony, real quick. I'm gonna tell
Go
the story.
ahead. Then I'm going to tell my story. Why I was on the floor.
Yeah.
That.
So then I figured, we have cameras down the hallway in our room. So when you open our door, there's a camera down the hallway facing our door. We have a camera inside our room facing the door, inside our room going out, because we want to try and catch things like doorknobs turning and maybe door opening. So I opened the door up slowly. I don't want nobody to see me, and I kind of got mad at Hank. He really pissed me off because he'd been bothering me all night. I kind of stick my butt out the door, and I kind of like, I
Let it blast out.
I farted on him, and it's real loud. I didn't realize, and it says, "This is for you, Hank." And ever since that night, I call it paranormal poof because if you see my shirt,
Yeah.
paranormal
Red
poof,
shirt on it.
right?
This is
Fun
what
while
you
you go something.
Mhm.
But what made it worse was that night I go to sleep and all of a sudden something jumps on my chest and starts choking me. And I'm wrestling this thing off me. I couldn't get it off me. And I feel like I threw it off me. There's nothing there. I woke my brother up. He's like, "God, something attacked me." All our cameras are turned off and the recorders are off, so we got no evidence of that stuff.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I paid my price for playing with him.
Yeah. Hank got you. But the reason I was actually drawing on that floor was because I was in the bed sleeping. I was sharing this. It was a big double bed. I was sharing it with my son, and all of a sudden, I hear somebody go, "Enough!" like that, really loud. It was like a man going, "Enough!" So I jump up. So I hear something in the hall. So I open the door in the hallway and I step into the hallway. But I don't step out of the doorway because we always worried about doors being slammed and then you have to, it locks behind you because spirits like doing that in Daily Pass. So I was standing at the door. All of a sudden, I see this little girl running towards me with a white dress and a red sash. But her face, I don't get her face. Her legs are on. And she runs through me and goes into the room. Now my arms are all like, when the spirit goes through you, it feels like a little electrical charge. It's like a pins and needles, but it's more electrical because the hairs on your arm and your hairs stand up. At the time, I had hair, you know, and it seemed like she ran through me. So I'm like, what the hell? And then I see this man walking down the hall, like it was like he was going after her, and that's where I got the name Hank Jr. Because Hank Senior, I seen him outside on a horse. But this is the picture I drew. I was drawing that night in the bathroom that Gerard was bringing up. Okay, I got some writing on the bottom, and that this from 2008, 2009, I believe.
Yep.
And yeah, it was running down. She was coming at me, and that was a white dress with a red sash, and you can see the shadow behind her. Um, and he was like kind of chasing her, and it was crazy. It was crazy. And then as she went through me, I seen him, and that's what he looked like down the end of the hall. He was like 20, 25 years old, um, and he was chasing the little girl. Oh, and the little girl's name, I got the name Sarah from the little girl, and I got the name Hank, and he was dressed dungarees and like a what do you call it? Like I think it was like a bluish shirt with like long sleeves with cuffs and stuff on it, like it was buttoned up. I mean, I'm not sure. That could have been a uniform of some sort.
It could have been a soldier.
Boots, even the boots, had fancy, and the pants were blue. I'm saying dungarees because it's our generation. Everything blue that we wear on the legs is dungarees. But it could have just been like a uniform of some sort, and he was chasing the girl. For what reason, we don't know to this day. But that was a crazy night. We had other stuff happen. We had EVPs saying, remember what was that? The EVP with the it just said, because I go in the room and I said, "Is anybody here?" And the EVP goes, "Yes, I am," like that.
Yep.
And it's like, holy cow, And that was on my radio, on my audio cassette, and not yeah, it wasn't cassette at the time. It was regular audio. Did it have a cassette? No,
Yeah,
no.
no, had the SD
It
card.
had the SD card in it. Okay, so it was crazy. It was a crazy night. Gerard had an experience too. We were coming back from somewhere, and in front of the place, and Gerard, you want to tell your story on that?
Yeah, the building was empty, and the owner, he was in the building downstairs. The guy who owned the place, but I know he was a wine drinker. That I know because when we left, he was on the stoop in front of the building drinking wine with a couple of his friends. So we said we see you guys later. We're gonna head down the road, and there's I forgot the name of the place. The Stagecoach Diner. Is that the thing that's in Gettysburg? Down
Yeah, we're
Baltimore.
right over by the tracks.
The track. There's a Stagecoach. It's kind of like a little
Was
like
it by the tracks or was that the one in town?
it's over the train tracks. It's over by
Okay,
the
yeah,
right by the main at the beginning of the Gettysburg. And
yeah.
we ate something there, but whatever I ate, it just didn't agree with me, and I really had to get back and use the bathroom. And as we get back to the building, I notice everybody's on the stoop still. I'm like, oh crap. I gotta go upstairs and there's spirits up there. I know Hank's up there because Hank already gave me problems as it was. Now the story we told you earlier about the paranormal proof, that didn't happen yet. This actually happened
This is
before
the
that.
daytime part of that.
Yeah, this happened before. What I'm gonna tell you. So I go after I gotta use the bathroom. So I run up the stairs and I said, I grab my laptop and I'm going to sit in the bathroom with the laptop on and maybe I'll look at some videos that we did and I was going to download some of the audio on my computer. As I'm sitting there, all of a sudden I hear walking in the room. I'm like, oh man, I'm by myself. I'm pants are down. I'm both vulnerable. This is not good. This is very bad.
He's in the bathroom locked
And,
in there.
right? So now I'm in the bathroom. I'm like, great. And all of a sudden I hear like it's moving around. And I'm like, what the hell? My phone rings. I go, oh my God, he has my number. I picked my phone up. It's in my pocket. On my pants, and I go, Anthony, what's up? He goes, what's up? I go, there's somebody up here with me. I think he's gonna kill me. And the thing's banging on the door, banging. I'm like, I go, get up here now. I go, hey, I'm like stuck. I can't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
My nephew, he's like a rocket ship. He flies up the stairs. Anthony gets up there. I come running out of the bathroom finally, and nothing's happening. So I'm trying to figure out what happened. I said, look, I heard this, everything I heard, banging and walking around and rustling in the room, but there was a knocking sound, like a knocking on the door. So I'm like, let me hear this thing. So I start walking around. I'm knocking on the door inside. I knocked on the door outside to compare the sounds, and the sound was from inside. We check our cameras. All the cameras are turned off, except for one voice recorder. So we find the voice recorder and we play it back. And you hear everything. You hear me say, oh my God, he's going to kill me. Just hold on, everything. And Anthony sees, he goes, this is the best evidence we has. And he takes the little SD card out and he drops it. And I won't lie to you, it fell down, disappeared. Never touched the floor.
Never hit the floor. It was like it vanished in front of all three of us. We're like, what happened? That was crazy. That was crazy.
We searched and we searched.
Yeah. We searched the floor. We moved stuff around. We went all over the floor. And even my son, he has better eyes than both of us, and he couldn't find it. Plus, that was like, what, 10, 15 years ago?
Yeah.
And, it was like, it was crazy that it just vanished out of nowhere in front of us. And I was like, wow. Like everybody saying, wow.
That was, I mean, every place I go, I any Paracon, anything I do, I always, that story, I always say everywhere because that is my most amazing thing that ever happened to us.
Yeah, that was crazy. And I mean, this is like 2000, 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
So this is pretty much still new with a lot of the stuff that we were using, equipment and everything wise. Equipment like a million times, and people in my audience, our regulars, they know that I always talk about how we used to buy equipment in Home Depot, in stores, or any of our recorders, anything. We just go to a Target or go to some kind of big store to go get it. It was like, not like now you go online, you buy everything, bells and whistles and all this beautiful stuff. I mean, some of it's so nice that you don't want to use it. It looks like equipment.
I mean, we investigate now, and me and my brother, he's with Seekers, and I kind of went my own way, but we still do Seekers, and I do a thing with my daughter called BZ Paranormal, and the equipment we use. I mean, we're using some newer stuff, but my favorite stuff is my 8mm camera. The only problem is I can't afford film. When I get it, comes from China, and half the tapes don't work, and then I can't even download it.
Yeah, and it's hard. I mean, how many tapes we have? I got millions of tapes in the closet that I can't transfer over to the computer these days because I transfer a lot to CDs back then, but the CDs with the computers nowadays, most computers don't take CDs, and then when you put a CD player on it, it says the format is not right because they're too old of a CD, and the graphics and everything else has contribute to that. So I mean, it was crazy, but I mean, we used to go to the Farnsworth also, and we were staying, you know, in different rooms, the McFarlane room, the Sarah Black room, and everything, and we were getting all like a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And the night actually, remember we went to the cemetery, we went to Getty's the battlefield. Me, you, the people in the audience that regulars heard the story a million times, but they're going to hear from two ends now.
Well, the,
Remember
the
when
Peach
we
Orchards, the Peach Orchards was the main
the
one.
Peach Orchard? And I didn't put that picture on. Damn.
Yeah.
But it was like the Peach Orchard. We would we got there and we get out of the car and we start walking over this little hill. And on top of the hill, I see, and Gerard's right next to me.
I'm filming, remember?
He's filming the whole thing. And on top of this hill, I see a soldier walking off the field. It was crazy. He was just walking off the field with his butt of the gun on his shoulder and the barrel down, and he was walking. And I could see the silhouette on his hat and his backpack and everything, and he was walking off the field. And I started jumping up and down like, this is what we came here for, We were so excited that I got to see something, and that was so crazy. But because he just walked and then disappeared. It was like a full moon that night. So, it was wild. But the crazy part about it is that we walked over to one of the dirt roads. And on the dirt road, the temperature dropped. Remember that, Gerard?
Oh, it was freezing.
Yeah.
I think it was the part were you talking about when I got pushed?
Yeah.
Well,
we're going to get up to that. Yeah. And we get onto the road, and the road was freezing, and it was like, and it felt like something went through me. I got more chills from that, and it was crazy how that was. So I'm walking towards my brother, and I'll let you tell him what happened to you. You tell them what happened to you with the camera. Well, that was crazy.
I didn't realize I'm a Yankee fan, and not anything, but I'm always sad because they wear the blue. Yankee blue is up north. Not realizing I'm down south is gray. So I remember I'm videotaping with my night vision camera, my 8mm. Back then I didn't know how to set it properly, and so the picture's very grainy. And my brother's like, "Look in the distance over there. It looks like there's guys running." So I'm trying to zoom my camera in the pitch black. Now, the 8mm camera, I didn't have an external light on top of it, night vision light. So I used the light in the camera. So as I tried zooming in, it got very grainy, but it cleared up. And you see these images like running from tree to tree in the distance. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to Gettysburg. They have these fences. They're like, I guess they would have been barbed wire as in today, but then they were like these picket fences that are like X like this.
Yeah,
and so that prevents, I guess, the military from going from one side for protect the other. I guess like barbed wire, like we have now. And I remember leaning over my camera, leaning over like this. And what happened was, I felt the hand like grab my elbow and shove me back slowly. Now back then I lifted weights. I was not weak. It's hard to push me, and I went back about 4 or 5 steps, and my camera goes up in the air really fast. And all I kept saying, "Oh my God, I got pushed. Oh my God, I got pushed." My elbow froze and got locked I'm telling Anthony what happened. They're taking pictures, and they're getting these like light orbs in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
But what made it more strange later in time, I would say, maybe about 6, 7 years later,
Yeah,
we're playing it back on the TV set, and we're able to enhance it. And at that point, it sounded like we heard like a rebel charge, like it was
yeah.
coming at me, and we heard cannons going off and gunfire. So it took an entire army pushing me back, it seemed. It was really, that was my first time I've ever got touched and experienced ever. And it really freaked me out.
In Gettysburg, I just want to let the audience know also where we were was in where the Confederates came in on the Peach Orchard. So when they came in, they were all Confederate soldiers coming in. Gerard was wearing a New York Yankee shirt. I don't know if it has
Union Blue.
Union Blue. So they went to start moving him around and pushing him back, and then we heard the rebel charge and everything. And it was around the same time he was pushed when we heard the rebel charge on audio, and that was crazy because the rebel charge, if anybody knows, it's like all the soldiers when they come in. I guess it's intimidating the enemy to by all yelling at the same time to make it sound like more soldiers or whatever. But that was crazy because he got pushed. His camera goes up because he has video of it. His camera, you could see the camera going up, and you're like, what happened? As we walk down the field somewhat, there's a tree there, and everybody's walking past the tree, and I couldn't breathe. I was like, I look up in the tree, I see somebody hanging from the tree. So I start backing. I'm like, everybody, get away from that tree. Get away from that tree. I start backing up, and I start getting my breath back. The tree, I don't know if there's somebody who's hung there or whatever, but I couldn't breathe. I seen somebody hanging from that tree. So we had some stuff there. And your niece started seeing somebody running across the field.
Yep.
And I started seeing it. It was crazy. It was crazy how it went. It was a wild night. So at Gettysburg, you have to get out of the field at a certain time because they will come and arrest you. So we left and we went back to the hotel. And that was crazy at the hotel because we get into the hotel and we're with our friend Mike and Kenny. Kenny was very sick. And it was known that a woman would come in with the smell of lavender. And it was like she was like a nurse or something. And she comes in and she tries to, help the person that is sick. And Kenny, he was
Cancer.
very sick. He had cancer and he wasn't doing good. And this was like one of his last trips with us because of his ailments. So he was in the room, and we come in the room, and we smell lavender. So it's like that was the first step. It was like that was crazy. So Mike puts out these little soldiers all over the place. These little toy soldiers, Confederate. Everybody knew the little green soldiers that we used to play as kids. Well, this was the Confederate and the Union soldiers. It was the blue ones and the gray ones, and so he put them all over the room. And that night, I was laying down on the floor because we got, the beds weren't big enough for all of us. So it was the two of them in the bed, and my brother and I slept on the floor. And I sleep on my side, and all of a sudden it felt like something stabbed me in the back twice. Doo. And it felt like an ice pick or something. I'm like, what the hell is that? Whoa, that was crazy. So it's like we had these lights, remember the flashlights we had? You charge it.
Wind them up. Yeah, because we don't want to kill our batteries.
Yeah, because we didn't want the spirits to steal, our batteries. So we wind them up. And we're looking around the room and everything.
So bad.
Yeah.
All the video. Stupid.
And so we're looking around the room and something what happened or whatever. So it was like, so it's like, So I end up going to the bathroom in there because the room we had had a bathroom in it. So I'm doing my business, and all of a sudden You know, Gettysburg, we have a lot of bathroom stories.
Yeah.
So I'm in the bathroom, and they have this like a little bronze stand that it's like a toilet paper holder. So it's there. So it starts shaking in front of me. I'm like, what? It's like, oh, so I'm picking it up. I'm feeling, you have to, I'm feeling the floor and I'm seeing, because I figured maybe there's something underneath there, a ceiling fan that's making this thing vibrate. Or I'm trying a million different ways to see why this thing is vibrating. It was just shaking. So I'm like, so I went out and I told Gerard, I was like, the freaking thing's shaking in there. And so, it's getting late. So it was like, let's go to bed and everything. Then we hear the blinds start shaking, the
Mm.
blinds. So we look at that and it's like, we weren't too impressed with that, but it happened. It woke us up a couple times, the blinds. Then out of nowhere, I'll let you tell your part of the story now.
Well, what happened was the room is the McFarlane room. In this room, little girl Cecilia died in the room, and this one almost went.
Little boy.
No, Cecilia died in this room. Jeremy died in the Sarah Black room.
Yeah.
So what happened was Cecilia died in this room, and in the room there's a closet in the hallway. In the room has a little white dress in it. So what I did was I moved the dress over and I hooked my night vision camera in there in the corner, the 8mm again. Again, it recorded very grainy because I didn't have the settings properly. I first time using it, I never used it for that. I got it for weddings. I was never used for ghost hunting. So, like he said, he put the toys in a room, and the reason why he put the toys in a room, because if you ever go to Gettysburg and you stay in the Farnsworth Inn, this little boy Jeremy, he plays with your electronics. He will steal your phone and everything else, and he hides it in the basement. So if you leave toys for him, he takes the toys. So, like Andy's mentioned now, what happened to me was me and my brother lying on the floor. The camera's behind me. It's facing Kenny on his bed. He's on the right side. He's the one with the cancer. And my friend Mike's in the other bed on the left. So me on the floor. And all of a sudden I hear a big bang and something hits me really hard. I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm like, damn, shit hurt. So next thing you know, we turn the lights on and one of the toys was on a shelf. It was thrown across the room and it hit me directly in my right leg on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And we're trying to figure this out. So we're trying to figure maybe somebody threw it at me. I figured maybe my friend Mike, somebody's playing around. And as we check the video over and over and we slow it down, you see a grainy figure flying from the shelf hitting me. And whatever it was, threw the toy at me. He got poked in the back. 2 minutes later, I'm getting hit with a toy. It was a very strange night. And like I said, in the bathroom, that toilet paper dispenser constantly, the roll always shakes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like somebody's in there all the time. That if you ever go to Gettysburg and stay in Farnsworth, really trying to stay in the McFarlane room, you're guaranteed to get anything in that room, no matter what it is.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was very crazy.
Yeah.
So also, because we started, Gettysburg became one of our favorites at the time, and well, it's still my favorite because I still go out there. I do the Paracon out there, the Gettysburg Bash, which everybody knows we're doing. But we did the McFarlane. We were still in the McFarlane room, but at the Farnsworth, remember Mike and Kayla? They called us up. It was in the middle of the night. And they go, there's something happening in our room. Something happened. They were on the first floor. They were in the Jenny Wade room. They were in some other room.
Yeah, I'm not sure the name of the room. Yeah.
Yeah. So they called us up and it was like, we get our equipment, we go down there. So we're going around. So we actually started, doing EVPs and the AMFs and stuff like that. And we go down there and we start doing EMFs. And all of a sudden, this cat, this is actually a stuffed animal. This is a real animal that's it doesn't look it right now, but it is. It's I guess, preserved. And we were doing readings. We were getting readings off this cat. So we went to the floor. We see underneath there maybe something, and we moved the cat across the room, and we were getting readings off this thing like it was had some kind of something attached to it, and we were getting readings from in that room. You know, here's Gerard with the old camera that we used. Remember that camera? That's the
eight
camera.
millimeter.
Yeah. Look,
That's
that's
my
from
favorite camera.
2009.
Yeah.
Yeah, August 2009. And it was that was those cameras. I miss my camera too because and now my camera is reading 30, 33, something like that on it. There's errors on it now, so you know. But yeah, that the cat we were getting readings off a dead cat, and that
Yeah.
was really crazy, off the dead cat, you know, So, you know, oh, Jenny's here. Hey, lady,
Hey,
why
Jenny.
we need a fangirl tonight? Hey, she's not here. Fangirl, you know. And she, happy birthday, Jenny. Everybody in the audience wish you happy birthday. Okay, so yeah, yeah. I think cats have souls. Yes, I think pretty much any of our living creatures have something.
Yeah.
Um, and animals. I know I drew a bunch of animals in the past. It was crazy. So we did a lot of Gettysburg, but some of our profound adventures was West Virginia.
Yep.
West Virginia, we had West Virginia Penitentiary. That's in Moundsville, um, West Virginia.
West
And
Virginia.
we went there. The first time we went there, because I went there a couple of times afterwards, but the first time we went there, it was me, Gerard, and this woman Hope, and she was our part of the team at the time, and we had so much going on. I mean, we were the West Virginia Penitentiary was at the time the penitentiary they sent people that were that were worse for what Alcatraz. They were
Yeah,
worse
they're
than
bad now.
and Alcatraz got the worst, and they do theirs. What was too bad for Alcatraz, they do in the West Virginia Penitentiary, and it was crazy. We had such a matter of fact. There's Charles Manson's mother actually spent time there for drug charges back in the day in West Virginia. So it was West Virginia Penitentiary had a lot of crazy stuff going on there. There was lying, there was road. We'll show some videos too. This is one where you come out. There was one um, hallway, and there was a red line against the wall, by the wall. You have to walk on that red line. If you stepped over the red line to the left, or you have to stay on that red line. If you moved off the red line for whatever reason, they would shoot you dead right then and there.
In the head. In the head.
Yeah, they would just shoot you. All right.
Yeah.
And so we did an investigation there, me, Gerard, and Hope, and we walked around, and we did the place called Sugar Shack. I think we might have talked about something like that in the past. For any of the viewers that are regulars here, the Sugar Shack wasn't anywhere that they got sugar and candy and stuff like that.
They got
call it
sugar, all right.
Shack. It's where they let the men go and do whatever they want, relieve themselves, whatever they wanted to do in the Sugar Shack. They had pool tables down there. They had all kinds of rest, but there was a lot of violence, people killing each other, and they called it Sugar Shack because of another reason, and what men were hurting men, and it was a crazy time. So we went down there, the three of us, and we only have flashlights and our night vision to see. So we put a bunch of different equipment all over the place. And there was some of the stuff that were there, and I'm going to play some EVPs right now for you. Gerard, the EVPs, when we go on the EVPs, the microphones get muted. They muted themselves. So, okay. So we're down there, and the story is that if something happened, the guards would come in, and the story was you laid down when they came in, or they knocked you down. So here's a question I put out there for them.
Were you knocked down? Were you laying down?
I don't know if anybody heard that right after that. I hope so. You know, um, I'll play it again. Everybody, just make your stuff a little louder, and we'll see. I'll play it one more time. I see if you hear what it's supposed to say. Let me make it louder here. Let me see that makes a difference.
Were you knocked down? Were you laying down?
See, I heard that. I hope so. Everybody heard the same thing I heard. Um, it says lay down, you know, and that to us is something like I'm asking a question and I'm getting an audio. See, yeah, Melissa heard it. And, yeah, I'm getting an audio reply, and that was crazy because it was the three of us there, and we were getting EVPs, which was awesome. You know. Now I'm going to play another one there. Remember, this area is only a men's area of the prison, and there was never any children or anybody there. Okay, so I want to play this here, and I want to see if you're here. There is a little girl's voice in the background. I want to see if you heard what we hear.
Yes, I could love that always. Okay, that's fine.
Did you hear that? I'll play you one more time.
Yes, I could love that always. Okay, that's fine.
Let me see if anybody in the audience heard it. You know, but that was very clear to me. Okay, nobody replied yet.
Now,
Says,
Anthony,
okay, go have fun.
if you hear me, if you listen more, right before then, you do hear a man also whisper, and it wasn't us.
Really? Let me hear that.
Yeah,
again.
play it back. You can hear a man whisper, and it wasn't us.
Yes, I could love that always.
Right there.
That's fine.
Right before you hear a whisper.
Yes. I don't know. Was that a breath or was it like
Nah.
it could have been a get out? It could have been something. But
Well, we got a lot that night.
yes. One of the clips that we got, Gerard was there, me and Hope, and here's another one that we got. And this is crazy because Hope is asking if you hear 5 years or you hear 10 years. She's trying to get a response on how long we're here, that people, how long they've been in prison or how many years they're going to have. And we have this thing called shadow detector. It's on my millimeter, and it's a shadow detector, and it actually rings when when a shadow goes by. Not a person. I could go like this with my hands, nothing. If a shadow goes by, it'll ring. So it starts going off, and you're going to hear what it does. And this is what amazing part about. We're not really paying attention to it because we're talking about getting, I'm talking about I see shadows behind them because remember, it's pitch black and all I got that little night vision thing. They're on the corner there doing their thing. They're on the table. It was Gerard and Hope. I was in the corner trying to see what I could get. And we kept on talking. And then Gerard asked me for the pad. The pad that we have is actually a pad that you put down and has some kind of special thermal paint on it. So when you touch it, if you touch it with heat, like your hands, it turns red. If something cold touches it, it turns blue. Okay. So Gerard's asking me for that. We didn't get no evidence on that. I'm just saying you're going to hear all this going on. I just wanted to understand what was going on, and we weren't paying attention to it until we did. So here's what it sounds like.
Was it more than 10 years? Were you here 5 years? That's your shadow detector, Anthony.
I've been seeing stuff with the, I've been seeing shadows behind you guys with the thermal.
Anthony, is that supposed to play music like that?
Yeah, what's
No. Okay, it's very obvious somebody's here with us. Can you please let us know what your name is? Does anybody have an obelisk?
Have it on now.
I'm gonna go put this pod. It tells you which direction you're
Anthony,
coming from.
you have the heat pad on you?
So maybe we
The
can
heat
go
pad.
see.
I just started this up.
That's not supposed to play music like that.
No.
What the hell is that doing?
Oh,
Yeah.
in my
gotcha.
back, guys, up in my back here, I got the thermal pad in there.
I did that.
Okay. You see that? It's in the thermal pad.
Okay. So we put a hand print on it? It should appear.
Okay. What's going on? This thing here
That's your shadow detector, dude.
Keeps going.
doesn't want to
Playing a
stop.
little tune.
What is back there on the wall? There's something back there on the wall that's about.
And that went on. And that is crazy because that thing's not programmed to make it. To me, it sounds like some sort of music, like a flute, And the West Penitentiary has mounts out front of Native American Indian graves that are mounted, and they actually think that the actual prison was built on some, and so that's not, like they didn't prove anything with that, but they think that that's possible. And to get this, and to me, it sounds like some sort of Native American or Indian type of flute playing. I thought that was pretty cool. What do you think, Gerard?
That's what we do. It was Indian stuff. There was something Indian from that.
Yeah, West that did not disappoint that place. Okay, here's a clip. It's a couple of resolutions from the original, and it's a little hard to see, but at the end of the hallway, you'll see somebody coming out and going back in. It's in West Virginia Penitentiary. It's actually the area where I told you about. If somebody steps off the line, they get shot. We were just talking, and even the obelisk started saying Jerry, Jerry, and he kept on saying my brother's name and calling him Jerry. So I'm going to play that, and this was caught, and we didn't see this for years later. Matter of fact, Joe McCaffrey is the one who pointed it out to us. It was like there's somebody that didn't. Oh, wow! So here we're going to play that.
Was it? Is it Tom killed?
Tom killed?
As you can see, he put a circle there, and the grain. Remember, these are the old cameras. It's not the new digital cameras like we have now, the 5K, 6Ks, and stuff like that. This is the old cameras that we had, with the cassettes. But You want to talk about that, Gerard?
Yeah, I just remember walking around with you and Hope, and I was just panning the area with the 8mm. And as I went over past you, my obelisk is saying whatever. It's like saying Jerry or Terry. I don't know. We thought it was a Tom Kill. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, it was a bunch of different
And
things came out.
we saw that figure in the back, but we didn't pay no mind to it because it was just so grainy. We had a barbecue a while back, and our one friend Joey, who couldn't make that trip with us, he's the one who physically noticed that we caught something. So we're figuring that looks somewhat, it could have been a prison guard going from one area to the other side. But as you notice, as I continue panning and it clears up, there's nothing down there.
Yeah.
That was the crazy part of it.
But what's crazy about that too is that area, it's pitch black, and to walk with anything on that area, you would have to actually need a flashlight, because you're seeing it in night vision. So the night vision you'll see, it's going to be like daylight, but it's actually pitch black in that area. You can't walk without the night vision or flashlight, because it was pitch black. And so it was good. It was a great location, But I went back there, and I didn't get the same thing. But there is, we were told by one of the people that by one of the tour people that there is a shadow that walks up and down that hallway in that way. So I have a feeling that we caught something there, But it's here we go. Here we go. Okay, now we did other locations that we had some great stuff at. Okay, Hinsdale House, and matter of fact, I had a birthday party there. My 55th birthday. We had Hinsdale. Remember?
Yep.
They put a crown on me and say, "Hey, here we go." So we were at Hinsdale, and we set up our cameras. And you want to tell the story?
Well, Hinsdale House, when we used to go, we used to set a tent up outside.
Yes.
And we'll put a tent out there, and we make that our home base. And we kept all our cameras in there, and we ran wires to everything. So we had DVR cameras going up flights of stairs. And if you ever went to Hinsdale House, it's very tight. There's the one staircase going up towards where Mary's room at the top is. It's like very dangerous going up there. And we have wires trying to tuck them along the wall. And I remember when we first went into the building, I went upstairs by myself. And I remember I had my full spectrum camera. And I'm walking around, and I think there was Beth's room, I believe, when you get to the top of the stairs. I think it is. And then Beth.
Where when you first walk in,
the first room, yeah.
Rooms up there.
Which one?
Oh, as soon as you get up the stairs,
to the right.
Rooms on the right.
And then Mary's room is the next one over.
Yeah, well, no, then you go into a bigger room where there's another bed, and then a small room in the background there. That's Mary's room. Those are the two active rooms.
Yeah, so I remember going up there, and I'm by myself, and I'm trying to take pictures, and out of nowhere, I felt something coming, and this huge figure physically charged me from behind. And when I turned around real quick with the camera, it stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So when I finally got downstairs, there's a woman, Billy. I believe she's still with
Really?
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mentioned to her, and she showed me a picture of a tall figure that does that, which really is really crazy because I got charged. But just in general, that whole night, crazy stuff happened. Anthony can go on and tell you other things that happened to him that night at the place.
Yeah. I mean, we were. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and we're sitting in the big room. We're sitting where it is. The Hidgesdale house is an old farmhouse. So when you first walk in the house and you eat from the back or the front, you walk right into the kitchen. Then the kitchen leads into on the on the left side into like a living room area with our couches. Then there's a little room underneath the staircase, and there's a bathroom on the first floor, and then you go up the stairs, what Gerard just said, Laura's room, opening another big bedroom, and then Mary's room is on the side. And there's also there's a little closet up there too. But when we were there, we were staying in the area with the couches, and people in the audience must have heard the story a couple times from me because they asked me about my most experience that really affected me a lot. One of the experiences that affected me. So we're sitting in that area, and I have a camera between that little cove that's underneath the staircase and the area, the living room area where all the couches are, where we were just sitting down and resting, because sometimes you have to listen to what goes around, the house and everything. Let it talk to you. So I got the camera set up to shoot out. Um, in the living room area and a little bit into the kitchen area. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, I heard click, and I noticed because the camera had a little red light that when it was recording, it comes on. So I'm like, did the battery die already? I just put a brand new battery on 2 minutes ago. So I get up, I walk over, and I'm playing with. I'm like, this camera. I click it and click back on. I'm like, nothing wrong with my camera. This is crazy. So uh, I feel behind me like my left side feeling cold. And it was like something, but it was like when was it? It was like in August because we just had my
It was
birthday
hot.
there.
Yeah, it was right.
It
It
was
was
in
right. It was your
August.
birthday. It was your birthday.
Yeah. So I felt a really cold thing behind my arm. Hinsdale House has no air conditioners, has no air flowing through it. Maybe now it does, but back then it didn't have any of that. So I'm standing there. I'm like, there's something on my arm. I felt. So Joey from across the room had one of those what do you call it? The thermo those things, these things here, the thermo things that shoot across the room, the laser,
Yeah.
and it was thermal thermometer, whatever, and it was taking behind me. He goes, the temperature behind you is going down quick. Like, oh, crazy. I said, well, I said, yeah, I could feel it's getting colder. So I figured behind me at this time, on my left side was a carriage, on my right side was a rocking chair. On my left side, there was so on my left side, I figured there's a carriage here with a metal handle. This is the actual carriage. You see the metal bars on it? That's the actual carriage that was there. So I turned around and I touched the metal part of the carriage. I seen a woman. I seen a woman pouring fluid, some kind of fluid on a baby and throwing a match and the baby's going up. And it's I just let go and I walked out of the place. Gerard comes chasing after me. He goes, "You okay? You okay?" I'm thinking, "Yeah." And I tell him what happened. My eyes were tearing and everything. It was crazy. And I wasn't crying. My eyes were just tearing. So, he's like, "What are you going to do? You're going to stay out here? What are you going to come back in?" So I decided to go back in, and I actually touched the carriage again, and because somebody dared me to, my brother. So that's what little brothers try to make their big brothers get, electrocuted. So I touch it again, and I see the woman again, and this is what I see. I seen that woman stand. That's the woman that was blowing fluid on the baby, and you can see the baby's charred and with flames coming off it. You can see the carriage there too, but that's the image I seen, and that changed a lot of my experiences, and that opened me up to more stuff that I didn't want to see. As a as a sensitive, I didn't want some stuff I didn't want to see, and that just opened me up. What was that? 2016, wasn't it?
Around that time, yeah.
2016, August
Long time ago.
27th, 2016. So it was crazy because in 2024, I was at the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash, and right next to my table was Dan from Hinsdale House. He owns it. So I start talking to Dan. I say, Dan, I seen this at your house in 2016. Now remember, it's 2024. That happened 2016. He told me that's crazy because there's a psychic that came in, seen the same woman, and she drew a picture similar to what I had. And then he starts telling me about the carriage. That carriage was donated to them because the people that had it bought it in an estate sale, and they used to see a woman in white standing by it all the time. So they said, this thing's haunted. Let me throw it to the haunted location. So they gave it to Dan, and Dan had it there at the time. So that is, there's no proof of what I seen happening, but there is known that a woman in white stands by that chair. And I'm not the only one who's seen it. Also, a psychic drew almost a similar picture that I drew. So that was something, we had such a great time there.
Yep.
So I want to bring up too, to Burlington.
Okay.
So I don't want to run out of time. So we got some time, but Burlington Prison that we talked about. Matter of fact, Jenny and I did a show with Haunted History with Penny Morgan in London recently. We just did it. Matter of fact, it's coming out. I think it's out already. It's on Facebook if anybody wants to look at it. I did repost it, and Jenny reposted it, and also Penny Morgan has also. But the Burlington Prison, we've been going there how long? I mean, the first time we went to, remember how we found out about the place back when? It was me, you, and Laura. We went to the what was it? The ghost store.
Mhm.
Then it was originally the ghost store back
Yeah,
then.
that's why I bought my full spectrum camera.
Yeah, you bought your full spec. I bought a couple little things there, and I asked the person there. I was like, "Is there any haunted locations around here? Because we were out here. We want to go check out some stuff." And she recommended to go to the Burlington Prison. So we went over there and we met Melissa, the one who actually does the ghost tours, and we set up an investigation there. And the investigations we went there, and we didn't go there just once. We went there quite a few different times. It wasn't just a one-time event because that place is awesome to go to. We had a great time there, and
Yep.
so the Burlington Prison is a old gray prison. I think it's from the early 1800s, and they closed in the 1960s sometime. And actually, the Boston Strangler was arrested, and he was there for a short time. But he wasn't the Boston Strangler at that time. They arrested him from some other charges, and then they transferred him out, and I guess he was freed after that. But the place has a lot of activity. There was a guard killed in the basement. We used to go in there. How the what do you call it? We used to get the obelisk, and in the men's area we get men's names, and the women's area we got women's names. Matter of fact, that's do I have that picture? The three of us, Sarah, me, you, Jesse, from there. I think I do somewhere. But it was that place. I mean, we got so much stuff. So I'm going to show a picture. Gerard, explain this one. You know, picture my brother took, and it's a crazy picture. So here it is.
All right, this picture here, we were all out in the backyard. There's the area where they have the where they lynched him. I forgot what the
Yeah,
gallows.
the gallows were back there.
Yeah, the gallows are back there, everything else. And what I did was everybody's outside, so I figured I'm gonna maybe go back into the prison myself. So I remember walking back into. I told my brother I'm gonna walk into the place and do a little by myself, local. Go by my solo. He's like, "You sure you want to go yourself?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna go for it." And I remember walking in, and I was about to start walking down the hallway, and something said, "Ah, don't bother. Just forget it." So I left, and I came back outside. My brother's like, "What happened?" I decided not to do it. He goes, "Oh, they scared you?" I'm like, "Yeah, they got me." So I'm taking pictures with my full spectrum camera of the whole back area, the gallows, and everything. And this picture here, I happen to take of one of the prison cells, and it seems to be an image that's behind the metal. But if you go into prison, that's two beds.
Mhm.
So there's a thing in front of it. You see it's flat. That's actually a bed. So and the bed's pretty high, and that that thing goes down to the ground. So that figure is tall enough to go down, and his head's almost above the window itself. So he had to at least be over 6 feet. Everybody in our group, we tried taking pictures of them in the same picture, and nothing matched this thing.
Mhm.
So we believe we caught either a prisoner or maybe it was that guard that got killed. I mean, we don't know what it is, but it has
Yeah.
shoulders and a head to it.
It. What's interesting about that, because nobody was in the prison at the time. We
No.
were all behind the prison. It is a whole yard out there, the prison yard, and we were all out there taking a break because when you do a lot of investigation and everything, you start getting drained and everything. So you go out there and drink your waters and get your cameras set up and everything. So what's interesting about this picture, there was nobody in the prison at that time, and this is the basement of the prison.
Yep.
And like my brother said, um, right in the area where you see this picture is one of the guards was killed there. There was somebody escaped and they killed the guard as they were leaving. And like he said, what's curious about this picture is that for this person to be in there and tower over the bed like that, he must be over 6'4" or something.
Mm.
But the bed you see, the little on the bottom part there is actually a bunk bed, and that's the top bunk.
Yep.
So this person is towering over the top bunk, and he looks like a big guy. And there was nobody in there at the time, and it was crazy because um, there was a video camera that's in the hallway there that didn't catch anything with that. You know, so it was interesting. It was an interesting night. It really was with that. You know, yeah. So let me get that off, and we got more on that. So we were in the gallows, okay. And do I have? Um, I don't know if I have that one. Okay, well we do have an EVP of it too, but we're back by the gallows, and around the same time, this he like right before, I think maybe after the picture and stuff, and we were there. He was talking to this woman for Sandra Frawley, and she has Twilight Patches Paranormal, and she also owns the Fashion Horse magazine, which we were in a couple copies of that, which it was interesting. Um, but I took this. I was videotaping, and this is the back of the place, and I'm going by, I'm just zooming by. My camera freezes up. You're just gonna see all stuff. Then all of a sudden you're gonna hear my brother say something. Then you're gonna hear help right after that. So let's see.
We said something about the thing up recording, and it goes. Then I said something else, and I just go to.
That was kind of low. I mean, I tried to enhance it, but some of the footage that we have is kind of old and it's a little hard to do. I mean, I don't have the technology. I'll play it again. So if anybody wants to hear it, we could try. Try it again one more time.
We said something about the thing up recording, and it goes. Then I said something else, and I just go to.
I don't know if you heard it. I'm hoping you did, but it does say help. I mean, sometimes I'm trying to make it as loud as possible on StreamYard, and you know how it is. Sometimes I can't get through everything on it. So, yeah, we also later on, we did Twilight Passage, Paranormal. Actually, did a documentary on the place, and they have my brother and I and Jesse and Joe C. Involved, and another guy, Amin, one of Joe's friends, came along, and we it was me, Gerard, Jesse, Sandra Furley, and a couple of her teammates in the room there, and Gerard asked the question for the obelisk, and we get the answer. Here we go.
Yeah, they never see that? Can you give a name of somebody in this room with us right now? Name Tom Raven?
Anthony. Oh my God.
Is it Anthony? I heard Anthony Simonelli. This is Anthony right now.
You want to talk to me? You want to say something to me?
That was very low. I don't know if anybody really heard it. Did you hear anything, Gerard?
I heard you hear Anthony at that one point. I did hear because I had to get close. You do hear Anthony in a whisper. Yep,
Yeah.
see? Is it like a whisper? That was a, yeah.
Yeah. It actually said my name. It was, and the interesting part about that was Gerard asked to say somebody's name in the room, which was cool that it came up with my name, you know? But it was crazy. It was awesome. Gerard, you get a lot of stuff all the time, you know?
I used to go, I was like always the EVP guy.
Yeah.
I was getting stuff everywhere I go. Anybody I go with always gets EVPs. See, I've learned EVPs. It's like if somebody asks you a question, same every time. How'd you die? What's your name? It gets annoying. But I like doing EVPs as if we're talking in a conversation. I ask the spirits to join along. And that's what I do. And a lot of times we play it back and you get us talking and then you hear something.
Mm-hmm.
And then the best, if anybody's listening and really, if you want to do a good session, always keep the recording going as you're re-asking the question. Like, did you hear that? So when you play something back, keep the other recorder still going. You'd be surprised because you will get responses to the responses.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do a session now and you say a name comes up, it just keeps coming up over and over, and it's add on. Other spirits seem to join in. So it's quite interesting. Yeah.
That's what's crazy about. I mean, you don't have to actually. You ask questions. You think out of the box on these questions. You don't have to, like ask something that might pertain to something with something that has to do with the place. What color is your shirt? Well, if you're in a place that has spirits of soldiers, what color is what color outfit you have on? What's on your buttons? Something to make you put you into a certain time and era of of a of a location. That's what you want. To have the certain times and then sometimes it helps. Then maybe you could do some research and find out what's going on or what happened at a certain time. So
The one question, Anthony, I don't like when you ask if somebody died or passed away.
mhm.
And when we went to do Fort Totten, we had a group, and I had a group of myself and newbies, and we're teaching them and giving them equipment to practice with. And I felt really bad because I said, I don't like asking this question. And I ask a question, I go, do you know that you died, that you're dead? And I got a response. I think you heard Anthony, a little girl saying, no. And that like broke my heart thinking, I was like, oh my God, I think I just told the little girl that she's passed away. And the whole time she might be lost looking for a family member. And now she doesn't know she's dead. And I told her she's dead. That was like one of the worst things I've ever did. And I refuse to ever ask that question again.
yeah, I mean it's little. I mean, I know when it comes to kids, it eats our heart out. Okay, so Gerard and I, it was crazy because I went to my mom passed and we went to pick up her ashes. I went to pick up the ashes. I went to call up Gerard to tell him I pick up the ashes, and I got this weird message. I tried to get through to him, and I got this weird message saying, it's like a shh and words in between. So I was like, I took my iPad at the time and I took my phone and I recorded it. I'm like, this is crazy. I can hear words and everything in there. So later on, I think that week or something, Gerard he goes, remember we met at the house and you said, did you call me?
Well, actually, it was in September. And I remember, this happened in September when I got the first call from you. And I'm a first responder, and I work in Ground Zero. And your phone left a message on my phone almost around 9/11 in that time area. I didn't realize it that in November. I just realized when we got together for Thanksgiving, I brought up at the Thanksgiving table to you that you left the voice.
Okay.
And it was a staticky thing, and I couldn't understand. It was like 15 minutes of static.
Mm-hmm.
And then you told me I sent you one, so our phones somehow were speaking to each other.
Yeah. This is what the craziest thing, and I'm gonna play the one that Gerard's copy of it. I did clean it up a little bit, but it's very hard, too. And you're gonna hear voices in between the static coming out, and it's really not. I'm starting to play it now because it's kind of a little scared. It's a little sad.
Well,
So,
Anthony, before you play it, understand if you understand what happened in 9/11 and the fires in the building and the police that are going in there and all the tragedy. So try and remember what was happening there when you listen to this audio.
yeah, it was like and this is a little sad. So. So I know people are listening and they're like, "What the hell is that?" I know Tara is like, "Yeah, what is that?" What it is like static, and in between is words that are coming out. The first words that come out is here. It says, "Help me," and then it goes into yells and it hurts. Um,
It
it
burns.
burns, and there's a bunch of different other in between the static. What we feel is because the static is a white noise, it's actually amplifying the actual words of whatever is trying to communicate with us. Okay, and the weird part about it is that we both got it on our phones, both of us, and we weren't talking back and forth because I couldn't get a hold of him and he couldn't get a hold of me. But this is what was being recorded on our phones, on our messages all the time. So it's weird how that is, and um, and the area it happened in, where my brother was at the time, and you know, it was. Now I'm starting to play it because it took all these years for me to actually share that because I knew plenty of people down there. My brother was actually down there. He's seen stuff. So it was, you know, it was kind of sad for all of us, and that's we're finally sharing it, you know.
But now, Anthony, are you saying if Anthony was to play his together, they seem to coincide as a conversation between two? But here's
Hmm.
enough time. I spoke to the police down there when I worked with them, and they heard that. And they said that was a broadcast that was going through as residual for police officers and other stuff going to transmissions. So there were a lot of cops that died in the building, among other things. And I believe Anthony on his, and his, I think it says, "Ma, help it burns" on one of his. But it's really hard. You really got to sit back and listen to it. It takes a while to understand it. I haven't heard in years, and it's a little hard to hear for myself. But then every so often I heard the word "burn," "out," "help."
Yeah.
That's everything that happened downtown Manhattan. And like I said, I worked there, and I'm still there. I've been trying to get out of there, and I can't. I'm stuck there. I can't ever leave because my jobs are always right next door to the tower.
Hmm.
So I mean, I'm down there all the time, and it's just 9/11 is just a bad time for me. So every time I hear that thing now, it's like like I'm choked. I'm like a little choked up inside somewhat.
Yeah. So there's some old stuff that I want to play from Kayla, Gerard's niece. We were at the
Raymond Hall.
Raymond Hall, yeah, and she asked a question, and I'm not sure which one I put on here. So she asked a question, she got a response. Let's see if this is the one. I don't know if you heard that. She first asks, "Is that your favorite doll?" And I goes, "Yeah, that's my favorite doll." And he goes, "Is that your favorite doll?" And then he goes, "That's my favorite toy." So I'll play it again. You hear that. Okay, if you slow it down, you can hear it better. But remember, this is back when 2010 and stuff, and we didn't have the fancy gadgets we have now to slow stuff down. You know, do it again. See, that's my favorite toy. I don't know if everybody heard that, but that I thought that was pretty good evidence that we had. You know, we're running out of time. I want to just play some more EVPs from you know. Uh, so got this and this. Maybe. Well, we could talk because we got 15 minutes. You got less than 15 minutes. So, um, here, you can make fun of me. We talk about Letchworth. You see, we went to Letchworth's village, and it's the cemetery that was found many years after. If you notice, there's only numbers on the grave, and at They didn't know who was at the grave. There's no names. Not too much years later, they actually found the list of the people's names on the graves, and they actually put them up. But those are metal. Those are metal, and I know very well. And we were doing EVPs, EMFs, and we were getting high EMFs off of some of these stones. So we thought, wow, this is crazy, you know. And so what happened was, I put a piece of metal on it, and some of these stones, these metal stones, or not stones because they're metal, but they are tombstones. Um, they are magnetized. So I was getting EMFs off these things. It was a little crazy. So, yeah, but we were getting a lot of activity from this place too. And my brother wanted to tell you about a certain story about how he got very entertained by someone's pain. Go ahead, Gerard, tell your story.
Me? I like when you're in pain.
No, you never left me in pain.
Well,
Go ahead.
I'll just do a fast rundown. When I do ghost hunting, I'm the type of guy. I like having fun. I get entertained. You know, I joke around a lot, but I get a lot of really good evidence. Everybody who worked with me knows who I am. So we happened to go to this place, and the group that we happened to go with, they were like a little like
Too
they were
serious.
like just serious. And I'm totally opposite. I'm having a good time. If a spirit's gonna joke with me, I'm gonna joke with the spirit. I don't take it personal, whatever. That night we were getting rocks thrown at us all night. Rocks had like launched at us, and they weren't hitting us, but they were like you whizzing by our cameras. And my brother goes, "Listen, it's pitch black." He goes, "I'm gonna shut my lights off totally. You're the night vision. You're my eyes. Just tell me if something's in front of me so I don't walk into it." I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." And he's walking and walking, and I guess, and I'm not paying attention, and he walks into a tombstone, and he cracks his shin really hard.
Yeah.
And all I hear is, "Ow!" Tombstone. And you see my camera going up and down, and I start laughing hysterically. I go, "Oh, watch out! There's a tombstone."
Yeah.
I like doing stuff like that, but
Yeah, I smashed my leg and it's bleeding and everything, and he's like, hoo hoo hoo.
oh, there's a tombstone in front of you.
Yeah, you're supposed to tell me it's there.
Yeah.
You know?
How about we go to West Virginia, and I have a night vision camera because I've learned in certain places I like keeping everything on a shoulder harness. I keep my hands free, and we go to the Sugar Shack, and we're walking down the stairs, and I miss the step. And I go flying down the flight of stairs, and every step you hear me going, "Ooh, ow, ow, camera! Ooh, ow, ow, camera!" And they're laughing at me as I'm falling down the stairs. Man, I walked into the prison bed. We have a lot of spoofs that happen to us. We go out, crazy stuff happens to us. And again, I walked into one of the prison cells in West Virginia, and I had the night vision camera on my shoulder. And I turned real quick, and I walked the camera directly into the prison bed, and the camera smashed me in the face. And all you hear me going, "Oh, camera, oh," and that goes laughing at me. But you got to have some fun when you're doing stuff like this.
Yeah, I mean that's what you got to do. We're running out of time. I just want to show a couple more. We're out of audio. Okay. This is the Shanley where I get burned.
Yeah.
My brother was on this bed here in the Shanley Hotel, and he was laying across it, and I was on another thing, and I was like, it felt like something rubbing my back. So I'm like, "Hey, Gerard, this thing's rubbing my back over here." And my brother's like, "Oh, really?" I go leave my back. I said, "Okay, we'll switch." So I go sit on this bed here, and all of a sudden it felt like something burning my legs, and it felt like cigarette. It felt like cigarettes being put out my leg. So that's a little hard because it's to see that little that, but it looked like a cigarette burn that was on me at the time. And he was like, him and my son decided they were going to laugh at me because I got burnt again.
You got burned like 3 times in the leg that night.
Yeah,
And then I
going back
remember,
like an
I
idiot.
go, take one for the team. So he goes back in the room again, gets burnt again. But later that night, I laid in the bed, and remember the bed starts shaking.
Yeah,
So our team members come in, and they're testing the bed. And half of us were electricians. The other guy was a carpenter. So we're looking to see what's shaking the bed. I'm laying in the center, and the bed's shaking and shaking and shaking. So it was like I was getting a shoulder massage, a massage.
yeah, the bed was just shaking.
But what gets better, the next morning when we leave, we're driving in the car, and I'm like, you remember you got burnt? All he's like, ow, ow. And his arm, as the draw pulling away, he's getting a burn mark in his driving arm, in his forearm.
Yeah, that was crazy. You know.
Yeah.
So we're running out of time. We got so much evidence, and I've been jumping all over the place. It's what I got to do. I'm trying to get everything in before we, have to leave because I got to rush here. So, we were at. This is the drawer. This is the heat pad we told you about. If you touch it, if you touch it with a warm hand, it's red. If it's something cold, touch it, it's cold. Okay. So here, this is the pad, and you can see like an I, a K, and two things on the end there. We were at the a barn, a 200-year-old barn in Newburgh, and we had this on one of the locations, and we was just saying to spirit, and it was pitch black. It was pitch black. We just had the what do you call it, night vision, and this is one of the women with us took a couple flashes, and this flash, a flash camera, this is what she came up with, and was like right before that. I said, you could touch it, you could write your name, you could write something on it, and so to me it looks like an I, a K, a small B, and an N at the end, and maybe a line underneath it all. We don't know what that means. I looked it up all over the place and could not find anything on this. This was like 2016, I think, or 15 when this happened, and it was it was crazy how it just appeared. The barn is known to have activity on it, known to have a lot of other stuff going on there, and the owner called us in to check it out. So, we had a lot of experience there. Hi, Gerard. When we were walking around, remember, it was rocks being tossed at us.
Rocks get thrown at you. This crazy stuff.
Yeah. I have a drawing of an imp that I seen there, some kind of creature that was staying on the corner there and everything. So it was that place I would love to get back into, but everybody right now, it's new people stuff. So and here we're gonna go one more thing before we leave. Okay. This is the Raymond House in Ocean what's it up? Oyster Bay.
Oyster Bay.
This house was actually not till like the 1920s. They found a letter from George Washington thanking the person that owned this house, the Raymond, that he was a spy for George Washington. Nobody knew it after all those years, not the 1920s when they found out. But if you look in the window there, you can see something looking out at us. And the house was locked up. Okay, I'm not sure what that is up there. And then it looked like a little face underneath it. And that's where we got some of the replies, EVPs on some of the the EVPs in those locations of the little girl saying stuff. And then you see like a little girl looking out the window, and then there's something above her. I'm not sure what that is. To me, it looks like a dog or something like that.
But you remember when we went there, my daughter was with us, and she investigates with me now. She's 24 now. She was about 4 or 5 years old. And we were at the top staircase. And as she was going to go down the stairs, something grabbed her foot and pushed her down the stairs. And I caught her before she went down the flight of stairs.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What?" She starts crying. What happened? I'm like, "Why would we do that?" I go, "Rihanna, they didn't want you to leave." And we EVP, we got something. She was the first time doing EVP session. She was like 5 years old, and she got 2 responses from children saying their age. I go, "They didn't want you to leave," and she was so scared. And then she's been investigating me for years after that. But now she's back with me full force, and me and her do some crazy stuff. But that night was just a crazy. I feel bad for her. She was so scared. The staircase.
We're running out of time, so just tell everybody about what you just done with the News 12.
Oh yeah, Channel 12 News. We just did an investigation recently. It's at Nutley, New Jersey, at the Kingsland Manor. If you want to check it out, just go to YouTube and go to Haunted Tri-State and look up Kingsland Manor, and you can see BZ Paranormal. That's myself, my daughter, and a couple of my friends. And also, we're doing a filming in July 11th at Near's Tavern, and that should be aired sometime in October also.
And Near's Tavern is pretty interesting because that's where Mae West got her start singing.
Yeah.
That's how she got her start. That's where she got pretty much was discovered. So that's where Mae West is from, that area. So that's pretty cool, you know. And so, I mean, we did a lot of stuff through the years together as a group and individually, as you know. So we got so many years of investigation behind us, and so you know, like we always say, we're not here to tell anybody this goes to make you believe. If you believe, you believe. If you don't, okay, I'm not here to make you believe. I know what I've seen. He knows what he's seen, and we know what we believe. So that's pretty much it on everything. You know, so I just wanted to say thank you to everybody in the audience. You know, thank you for everything. Yeah, we have to get going because there's another show that starts. Gerard, don't hang up right away.
No.
You know, the show was. I thought we could go more time. I tried to rush it at the end. Yeah, I know we were all over the place, but we tried. I tried to get our evidence out there. Remember, we have between his evidence and my evidence and my drawings and his stories, we got hours and hours and hours of stuff. So, you know, I just want to, you know, hope everybody enjoyed the show tonight. I want to thank Gerard. Thank you for coming and helping me out tonight.
Not a problem.
You know?
And thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, everybody in the audience. You know, regulars here, and you know, I appreciate it. You know, we really do appreciate it. Like I said, I wish we had more time, but we don't. And so I just want to tell everybody in the audience, thank you, Gerard. Thank you. You know, Jenny be back next week. She's right now she's in her glory. She's going to the game, and I think tomorrow she's meeting Melissa from the audience. Melissa, that's gonna be cool. They're gonna have they're going out for like a coffee or something, whatever. Or grazing in grass because you know Jenny doesn't eat any meat. She's one of those people. You know, I break her chops all the time with that. Well, right now she's hanging upside down from her feet. You know, sleeping like a vampire too. So I just want to thank everybody for coming. I just want to tell everybody before we leave, you know, remember you got to be safe out there. When you go on investigations, make sure you're safe because you want to look for ghosts. You don't want to be a ghost. Ciao, familiar. Forget about it. Hey.
Hey, how you doing?